ByteDance, the company who owns TikTok, is known to have close ties with the CCP and has done surveillance work to identify Hong Kong protesters. CCP is known to conduct misinformation campaigns in the West. TikTok is a threat. Yes, you know what else is? Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all for similar reasons. It's just they're not directly owned by a foreign entity. Like everything that TikTok does, US companies do as well. It's just drawing the line in the sand that we want to be the ones to do those things, not China. Yeah, YouTube in particular has a huge history of it, actually. And yeah, at some point I'll play it again, Roadkill. Depends on what exactly, yes. Thanks, Resub Lizzie. And we'll see if TikTok actually gets banned. I'm still skeptical on if it fully goes through. We'll see. But it is interesting to see how many people now versus like 3 years ago when people recognize like, hey, maybe we really don't want the government telling us what we can and can't access. Like that's kind of a bad thing and goes against like core beliefs. But now it's like, hey, this is a thing I don't like, so I actually don't mind if the government takes this out of my hands. It's very different. It's crazy how quickly people can flip to those things if they're given enough time and conditioning. TikTok ban is good. Too many people are slow because of it. I hate TikTok. But I hate, again, I already said this, I won't keep regurgitating it. I hate having something that we take for granted, some freedom to choose what we download and what we access being taken away. Well, if you make a concession on that, you'll continue to justify more concessions in the future. And if TikTok goes, you know all of that's just going to lead to people going to YouTube Shorts or Reels, which have the exact same problem as TikTok. Thanks, membership, Justin. TikTok has more unfiltered news than most news channel, more misinformation as well, but that's what you get with social media. Yeah, it's all social media. I'd say Facebook is actually the biggest proponent. Facebook has directly contributed to some absolutely atrocious things in the world through the misinformation that's been so prevalent on that platform for years, and there was actually a controversy where Facebook promoted it. At least to my knowledge, TikTok is just so big and so many people that it gets popular. Facebook itself actually promoted it. And yet we're not putting the crosshairs on Facebook for that. There's a difference between giving your citizens freedom and giving your enemy access to manipulate your citizens, especially young citizens who are currently shouting death to America. You still talking about TikTok? Those same citizens shouting death to America are also learning it on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube. But I guess it's cool if it's like domestically taught to them as opposed to China. Like it's a really weird line in the sand to draw, brother. And it's also, what do you mean giving your enemy access to manipulate your citizens? Do you think the government is your ally? Like giving them your information is your patriotic duty and they're using it for just purposes? They're doing the same thing with it. It's just giving it to America versus giving it to China. And you've drawn the line at, well, I'm fine with the government abusing my data, but not China. But it's the same thing. Like, you can argue it all you want, man. If that's how you feel, that's fine. But you're basically, like, it's not a very good point. Like, the CIA are the good guys. Yeah. The CIA likes me. The CIA looks out for my best interests. I get what you mean, but there's a clear difference. The difference is just who's collecting the data, America versus China. But that really doesn't matter, because they're both doing the same things with it. Like, it really, like, I would rather be able to keep my individual freedom of choosing whether or not to download the Chinese spy app versus having the government say, Charlie, this is something that is forbidden from you. We have taken this away from you. The more we make these concessions on the things we take for granted with our freedom, the more and more they're going to be encroached upon. Again, this was a kind of normal, lukewarm, not like crazy take 3 or 4 years ago when this was first starting, but now so many people have been conditioned to be okay with giving up things. And it's pretty frustrating. It's pretty frustrating to see. But what are they doing with the data from the average Joe? I don't know. Ask Facebook. Ask Google. Ask Twitch. Ask YouTube. I don't know, man. Ask all of them. Thanks, LeBron. Is LeBron the GOAT? Oh, don't ask me that. I've said this before, and people don't like this. I am a LeBron fan. I liked LeBron when I was, like, in middle school playing basketball. I used to love watching LeBron, so I've always liked him. But he is not clutch. He is just not clutch. It hurts. It fucking hurts. Is he a TikTok streamer, Miguel? That sounds like a pretty common thing on TikTok. He has the best clutch stats. Maybe, like, in the past. I can't remember the last time where I was like, yeah, the LeBron clutch. The dagger, there it is. Like, missing that fucking wide open three really hurt. And then he's immediately going on about the refs. As if it was the refs' fault they blew a 20-point fucking lead. Like, of course they missed calls because the refs are corrupt. Like, we know that. Like, the refs are gonna miss calls. That's the modern NBA. It's embarrassing, but it is what it is. You still blew the 20-point lead. You blew the 20-point lead and you missed the dagger three. Like, come on, we can't just focus on the refs. There was a lot more that went awry. So I was pretty sad. I was actually sad. I am pulling for the Lakers. I think the Nuggets again win it all, but I am pulling for the Lakers. So seeing that was rough. I don't think they bounce back. I think this is going to end in a sweep for sure now. Lakers are trash. Yeah, unfortunately. Just not him. He is just not him.